All right, everyone. Thanks for your patience. Good morning. Welcome to our webinar. We're broadcasting to you live from San Francisco, California this morning, and thanks for jumping on the call today. Wade and I are super excited to tell you about how Quip can improve the way your team works together. But before we get started, I just want to cover a couple items of webinar housekeeping. First, we will record this webinar and send you a link to it in a follow-up email. I recommend sending this recording to any of the teammates that weren't able to make the call today. I think it'll be really useful as a recording. Second, Wade and I will answer questions as they come in through the GoToWebinar software. Please ask us questions as we go. If we don't get to your question right away, that may be because we're saving it for Q&A at the end because we feel like it'll benefit the larger group. All right, so let's get to it. Today's agenda is 3 parts. First, I'll give you a comprehensive overview of Quip. Then Wade will share one of our favorite success stories, Instacart, and how they scaled effectively from a small startup to a thriving business. And finally, we'll also give you a live demo of Quip, as well as how it integrates with Salesforce. After that, we'll hold 10 minutes of Q&A where we can answer your questions. But just another reminder, please feel free to start sending them through, and we'll be able to answer them as the presentation's happening. All right, I'm up first. So we're in the midst of 5 transformations in enterprise software: intelligence, speed, productivity, mobility, and connectivity. These are key and new technologies to Salesforce, and they're building them across their customer success platform. They're incredible technologies that will help you take advantage of the opportunity offered by each transformation. But today I want to talk to you about Quip, one of Salesforce's newest technologies, as we were just acquired in September. So the fact of the matter is, the way most of us are working just isn't working. We're living in a new age of social technologies like Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, and yet the way we work is slow and disconnected. And it's not for a lack of spending either. Collectively, we've spent over $150 billion on collaboration software, and yet we're still asking our colleagues these same questions every day. Where do I find that file? Is this the right version? Can you resend that email? I feel like if you were sitting in front of me, you'd probably be nodding along. These are questions that before I worked with Quip, I was asking myself. We're all feeling pretty overwhelmed with our multitude of ineffective apps that we always default back to managing critical projects and initiatives in email. Email's good for a lot of things, but the truth is it's an old technology and it breeds old and painful workflows. It wasn't built with collaboration in mind. And ultimately, this leads us to the productivity gap. This is when work is created in one app and discussed in another, typically email. I'm sure this workflow sounds familiar to most of you. You start a new Word document, attach it to an email, send that email to the team starts editing the document and sending revisions, reply all. You work hard to consolidate the versions and keep your team's feedback in order. I'm kind of getting stressed out just thinking about it. The fact is, it's hard to collaborate, track, and get work done this way. It leads us to send and receive 129 business emails every day. That's a lot. It also leads us to spend 64% of our time not on our core job function. And if you're part of a sales team, that means the majority of your time is spent not selling. Productivity gap is real, and it's a huge problem. And if you're hearing this and thinking about how you were just searching for a Dropbox link earlier today, or refreshed your email for the 20th time, or scrolled through your Slack channel, you probably know the gap pretty well. So I'm actually pretty curious what everyone here feels like the biggest contributor to inefficiency in their workday is. I'm going to bring up a poll now, and I'd like you to fill it out. All right, so on the screen, you should be able to see a poll here. What is it? What do you feel like is causing some inefficiency throughout your workday? Is it managing your email inbox, unproductive meetings, searching for files that you just can't find? Maybe it's just hard to work from your phone, or maybe it's managing multiple versions of a file. All right, we're seeing some votes come in. I'm going to wait till almost everyone's voted. We're at about 60% now, so you last 40%, put your answers in. All right, that's pretty good. I'm going to close the poll and share the results. So pretty interesting. About 50% of you are really feeling the email pain that I was just mentioning. Another quarter are saying that unproductive meetings is a boon to your day. And then we have a couple more people that are struggling searching for files and really want to work from their phone, and it doesn't seem to be working. So I think that's all really interesting. I think it all kind of feeds into the productivity gap. And I think that's kind of the big question here. A simple question: what if you could close the productivity gap? Those inefficiencies that we just pulled you on, what if we could eliminate those from your day? That's exactly what Quip was built for. It's what it was built to do. The third transformation of enterprise software is about productivity and collaboration. Quip is a productivity suite that combines documents, spreadsheets, tasks, and team chat in one place. And all of that is connected to your favorite CRM and Salesforce. We have 4 product promises that are designed to help your team work better together. Quip helps you create work together, collaborate without email, work with live CRM data, and work mobile first. I'm going to dive into what each one of those means now. So every single feature in Quip is designed for teams to build useful work together. A Quip document is not your typical 11.5 by 8.5 piece of electronic paper. It's a smart surface where you can combine Quip's unique tools: simultaneous editing, embedded spreadsheets, social app mentions, tasks with due dates, and linking. The goal of all of this is to help you and your team build work in one place and get it done. So that's our first promise. The second is to collaborate without email, and one of our goals at Quip is to eliminate email. I can speak to this firsthand. I've worked at Quip for over a year, and I haven't received or sent a single email from a coworker. It's awesome. And we discuss everything in Quip. One of the foundations of Quip is context. Every document and spreadsheet has chit chat built into it. This is where we take on the productivity gap, where you give feedback, ask questions, coordinate plans. Is also where you do the work. Everything is on the same screen, and it's social and it's real time. Hopefully it's already pretty clear how Quip is different from other products like Microsoft Office or G Suite, but our deep integration with Salesforce makes Quip documents something really special. With Quip connected to Salesforce, you can open your reports in Quip spreadsheets. But what's truly different is that data is live. So if it's updated in Salesforce, it's automatically updated in Quip. When analyzing or discussing a Salesforce report, you can open it once and you never have to worry if the data is up to date. I'll show off this integration more during the live demo at the end of the presentation. And lastly, but certainly not least, our fourth product promise is that Quip was built mobile first. This, for me, is my favorite part about Quip. Anything you can do on your desktop, you can also do on your phone. We built our documents and spreadsheets from the ground up and on mobile first, so that every feature works well on mobile. There's no pinching and there's no hassle. There's no downloading attachments. You can drive work forward anytime you're not at your desk. And I use this all the time when I'm in on the train in the morning. I can just jumpstart my day, or even after I've left work, I can close my day in Quip Mobile and know that there isn't anything I can't do. Now that I've covered our product promises, I also wanted to show you a few examples before I hand it off to Wade to talk about Instacart. It's important to know that we built Quip for every person on every team, and I'm going to show you how we see sales, marketing, product, and executive teams using Quip every day. So we see sales teams use Quip to plan and track their territory plans. This Quip doc becomes a single source of truth for reps and their managers to collaborate on their progress. We also see sales teams using Quip to work together on a mutual success plan. It's easy to share a document externally, and we found that customers love collaborating with their reps in real time and not through threaded email conversations. We see marketing teams use Quip for project and launch plans. This Quip document tracks all the work that needs to get done and by who. It's also the place everyone can easily follow along on the progress of the project. It reduces the need for constant status meetings. It's another single source of truth. Marketing teams also track their budgets in Quip spreadsheets. It's easy for everyone to jump in, review, contribute, and discuss together. Having spreadsheets that are really social and team-oriented is a really, really awesome part of Quip. We also see product teams love using Quip to manage their product roadmaps. It's easy to link them to their requirements for the work that they are building and visualize what's next. It's also great for other teams to drop in and know what the product team's up to. That transparency really helps the whole organization drive forward. Product teams also use Quip to build release checklists where they track the work that needs to get done to ship their next big thing. These collaborative checklists are really helpful. And lastly, we found that executives love Quip to transparently track strategic documents like OKRs. They also love to use Quip to manage their meetings. A Quip doc is a great place to plan an agenda, record notes, and assign action items. Quip keeps their meetings focused and productive. And this is a huge help for executives who are tasked with running companies, and having the transparency is a really important part of that, so that they don't have to worry about managing their time. What we're so excited about is how much our customers have told us Quip helps them get work done with their teams. We recently surveyed our customers to understand the impact of Quip on their companies, and the results are really inspiring. Our customers have seen a 38% reduction in daily meetings. Projects run through Quip are finishing almost 40% faster, and we've cut down on email by 43%. I think if you could cut your email down in half, you'd be really excited, and that's what we're hearing from our customers. They've also said that all of this has resulted in about 46% improvement in team productivity. We couldn't be happier that our customers are reporting this kind of impact, and it only motivates us to drive these numbers even further. So now that I've given you an overview of Quip, Wade's going to jump on and he's going to talk about how Instacart uses Quip.
Yes, thank you, Ryan. I am happy to have the opportunity to speak about one of my favorite companies out there, Instacart. For those of you who are not familiar, Instacart is a same-day grocery delivery company that delivers groceries right to your door. I am a big fan of Instacart in my personal life. Before using the service, I was always in hot water with my wife for forgetting to pick up groceries on the way home. And I'm not going to go as far as to say it saved my marriage, but this company definitely kept me out of trouble in a major way throughout the past few years. Since being founded in 2012, Instacart has grown from 0 to over 300 employees. It's now valued north of $3 billion. Wow. Early on, the Instacart team knew that they needed a tool to help them scale at such a rapid pace, and the tool they chose was Quip. So way back in the day, prior to adopting Quip, Instacart struggled with many of the same problems that growing companies are having today. They were bogged down with internal email, also known as the death spiral for productivity. Their days were filled with back-to-back meetings, and worst of all, they suffered from what we call tool sprawl. Now, tool sprawl is when employees start introducing kind of a hodgepodge of tools to get their work done because they're not getting what they need. What happens here, and this happened at Instacart, was that ideas are spread across a ton of different places. It's spread across the organization, and so the co-founders of Instacart, Max and Brandon, quickly said enough is enough and decided to standardize on Quip. Quip is now the collective brain for Instacart. It's a project management hub, a wiki, it's a collaboration space. 70% of Instacart employees use Quip every single day, and every single new employee that joins Instacart gets a Quip license. So right away after introducing Quip, we saw that simply by having a single place to go to get work done, Instacart improved its efficiency when working cross-functionally. Some specific ways I've seen Instacart use Quip: their design team has a place to work iteratively and in real time, multiple people editing the same document at the same time rather than emailing email drafts back and forth. The product team builds out requirements to drive towards launches. The marketing team uses Quip to collaborate with vendors and drive forward their own projects. And the sales team can do forecasting and account planning in Quip. They can also collaborate directly with customers, which reduces their cycles on the phone and cuts down on unnecessary meetings. The best part is, if one part of the organization needs to get caught up on what another part of the organization is working on, they can do so right in Quip. A couple stats to call out. Instacart has created over 3,000 living documents within Quip, and 80% of those documents are shared. This points to collaboration across the board. Now, Instacart didn't choose Quip just to make their lives easier and more organized. They also recognize that speed of teamwork is a competitive advantage in today's market. Teams are the atomic unit of companies, and Quip helps teams drive projects forward and stay on the same page. With Quip, teams don't even need to be in the same office or at their computer to get work done. We see mobile productivity as a critical part of today's day and age workflow. It simply does not make sense to build a workflow that doesn't include mobile. Just this morning when I was on the train into work, I reviewed a proposal from our office in Sydney, gave the thumbs up to help move that project forward, and that quote was sent out to the customer by the time I got to my desk. Again, Instacart's old workflow was centered around email. Remember the death spiral of productivity? Now Instacart's workflow is centered around living documents. 60% of docs created a year ago are still being used today. That's incredible engagement. Now, as we show you some innovative companies who are using Quip, I just want to emphasize that while this is a new way to work, it's not crazy and it's not out of reach. In fact, again, today, thousands of the world's most innovative companies across industries have moved to Quip. For example, Facebook. They replaced their use of Google Docs on Quip and now use the product across 20,000 plus employees. On the other side of the spectrum, we work every single day with these brand new startups that are helping bring their product to market and scale their organization through Quip. Regardless of company size, teams move to Quip because they realize they cannot be bound by tools that are decades old. They need tools that empower them, and they need tools that will help them win in the market. Now we can kick it over and start a product demo.
So we're just going to switch over here to our web browser. All right, awesome. We're all set up. Sometimes these live demos can be a little bit tricky. So here we are. We're looking at a Quip document. And the first thing I want you to notice is that Quip documents are more than just text. And this was kind of our first product promise, create work together. What we have here is we have social mentions, we have lists, we have inline comments. I'll show you our built-in chat in a second. We have action items with due dates that we can assign, and we have embedded spreadsheets. You'll also notice in the spreadsheet that there's some Salesforce looking data there. That's our live Salesforce data. And I'll get to all of this in a second, but what I wanted you to take away just from looking at this is that Quip is more than just text. It's a smart surface. It's not just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper put online. And so the use case here is an account plan. And there's so many things you can do with Quip, but this is a typical use case we see a lot of sales teams doing, tracking the work, tracking all the work that goes on behind the scenes in managing an account. So what I want to do here is actually first start by adding a teammate to the document. So I'm going to type @ and then I'm going to search for his name, and we're going to add James here. James is our developer, and we want to get him on this document, and Quip is a great way to cross-collaborate. The reason we actually want to bring James onto the doc, and what will happen here in the background is that Quip will shoot a notification to James, bringing him into the document. And that's a big difference from an email where I'm actually pushing the document to James. In this case, we're just calling him in, and he can jump in from his phone, or if he's on his desktop, he can jump in from there. So we're actually mentioning James because we've got a big problem with our account. United Partners has said that there's a big mobile bug with our platform that we need fixed because it's a blocker. So this is a critical bug. So in the highlights section, I'm actually going to add this note because I want the team to know that there's a critical bug. And I'm going to really make sure, I'm going to add an inline comment, and I'm going to mention everyone on the document and say something totally unproductive, but you could imagine that we might say something more useful if this was a real work scenario. I'm going to tell them to freak out. But we're not going to freak out. We're actually going to create an action plan around this. And so in my action items, I'm going to start a new task. Using @mentions, I'm going to assign it to James, our technician, and then I'm going to add some details. And one of the cool things about Quip is that when all your work is there, you can actually link to other documents. So I'm going to link to the mobile bug report that's blocking United Partners from us closing this deal so that James can read up on it and we can track his work here. And then I want to make sure that James gets this done this week. So I'm going to set a reminder for the task, and I'm going to ask him to finish it by Friday. What Quip will do is continue to ping James every day until he finishes this. What's great about that is I don't have to worry about it. And if I did want to check in on James's status, I could just start a new inline comment here. So now that we know the bug's taken care of, I'm going to work on this document a little more. And what you'll notice here is a pretty simple spreadsheet. Most spreadsheets are really big, really, tons of rows and columns. What's great about Quip is we can create some bite-sized ones too. And in this case, and what's great about them, no matter how small they are, I have access to all 400 functions and formulas. So I can sum this column up here, which is really useful. I have all sorts of things like conditional formatting and data validation. So our spreadsheets are really powerful. They're really social as well. What's also cool about this is I can actually pull this data out into the document. So if I go up here, I can say equals, and I can actually paste the cell right in there. What's cool is if the data changed, it's actually going to change the data in the spreadsheet as well. So being able to pull that out is great. It's great for highlights. It's great for executive summaries. One of the coolest parts of Quip is that your spreadsheets are a part of the document. So they never have to be shared in a silo of email or something like that. The spreadsheets live right in the work. I'm going to get back to the Salesforce data in a second, but what I want to show you is where the conversation happens. So every document has chat built into it. Oh, and we can also turn on an outline if we want. That's a great way to create a table of contents for a document, maybe some of our longer form documents. In this case, we have a pretty short, brief document. But here's our conversation thread. And this is a running history of everything that's happened in the document. It's also a place for us to chat. So it's tracking edits, it's tracking messages that we write in this conversation pane. It's also tracking inline comments. I can actually add to this. So I made a couple updates here to this document. I want to make sure everyone knows about them. So I'm going to type at everyone again, and I'm going to say, I made a few updates, check them out. What's really great about this is my teammates can come straight into the document. They can see that I've made some updates. They can actually review them in the conversation pane, and they can look at them in the document as well. And if they like them, they can like my comments. They can like my edits. What's awesome about this is all happening in real time and without email. All right, now let's jump back into our spreadsheet. And you may have noticed these blue clouds. I'll just jump back here. You may notice these blue clouds. What these are, they're referencing Salesforce data. What we actually did here is we opened a Salesforce report into a Quip spreadsheet. What's really different about this as compared to exporting to CSV or exporting to Excel is that this data is live. So you can see from the hover state here, this was refreshed yesterday at 2:39 p.m. So I know this data is live, and as the data changes in Salesforce, it's automatically going to update in Quip as well. If I was worried, for instance, that this data might not be up to date, maybe it wasn't caching correctly, I can force a refresh right now. And what that'll do is it'll ask Salesforce, is this data live? And if it isn't, it'll update it. In this case, our data is live, it hasn't changed. So that's a really cool thing. I never have to export over and over again. I never have to worry if my data is out of date. It always is. And so if I click on one of these links, I can actually switch over to Salesforce, and here we have our opportunity. And what we have here is our Quip Connect component. This is great for traceability, and what I can do is link to documents and spreadsheets from Quip. So for instance, that mobile bug report that's a blocker, I'm going to want to link to that here so that everyone on the account who views this opportunity knows that there's a bug blocking, and they can jump right over to Quip to see what's going on. I can link to all sorts of documents and spreadsheets, but it's great for traceability, connecting all the information about the account or opportunity with all the work that's going on behind it in Quip. So if I click on United Partners Account Plan, it's going to bring me back over to Quip, and voila, we're right here back in the document. And Quip is actually going to check to make sure the data is live. So it looks like a few things may have changed. So that is that's our Quip demo. I also want to show you mobile. So just give me a sec to get back into the presentation here. Everything that I just showed you on the desktop there is also possible in mobile. And let me show you a couple things. We built everything in Quip from the ground up so that it worked really well. So I actually got a notification here. Logan's asking me if I need any help with the mobile bug. And you can see this is a conversation pane in that same document. There's no pinching. It's all hassle-free. It's really easy to view your documents. I actually finished that bug, so I'm going to knock it off the list. And then I'm also going to let Logan know, hey, no worries. I've got this one. We took care of the bug. We're moving forward with United Partners. What's cool is even though I'm on my phone, This is happening as easy as a text message, and it's happening in real time. And my document looks really good. I can jump into other inline comments. I can like things and keep work moving forward. I can scroll down, and even spreadsheets work really well in Quip. We have custom keyboards where we can do advanced functions. It makes it really easy to work with our spreadsheets, even from your phone. I know many of you have probably been pinching on spreadsheets before. So that's Quip Mobile. It's honestly one of my favorite parts about Quip. I use it every day whenever I'm not at my desk. And that completes our demo and today's presentation. If you're really super excited about Quip and you want to get started right now, simply go to salesforce.com/Quip and start your free trial. Our trials require no credit card, you get unlimited users and storage, and all the Quip features. I'd also recommend that you talk to a Quip specialist during your trial who can help you best understand how Quip can help you and your team. So contact your account rep today as well.
Look forward to working with you all in the future, and thanks so much for attending the webinar today.
Thanks, everyone.